Hello everyone, No Life here, and today I'll be going over the patch notes and just about all the other stuff that's been announced over the last week or two for Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game. So unfortunately this patch has been delayed for September 26th. It was supposed to have actually have came out the 24th, but I'm not sure what's going on with our devs. It's just they cannot seem to ever put anything out on Tuesdays anymore, but regardless, this update is going to be containing the new game mode being added to the game, which is Rush Week, a 1v6 game mode featuring Johnny as the lone killer against six sorority girls. So, for those of you who have been living under a rock and do not know what Rush Week is exactly, basically the sorority girls have to escape by either calling the cops or by making their way up to an attic exit, which will allow only two of the sorority sisters to escape Johnny. Now, if the sisters do manage to go ahead and call the cops on Johnny, a time limit would be placed for the game, and if the remaining girls can go ahead and survive Johnny's wrath, they'll then be able to escape him. However, Johnny has some sort of fear mechanic where basically the more afraid the girls are, whether that means them being killed or what have you, the stronger he'll get. So he'll be able to literally smell their fear and have an easier time finding them. I'm not sure if this means he will not be able to do his stalking ability, allowing him to be able to seek the counselors, the victims out. But regardless, the girls are not going to be totally defenseless. They will be able to find new items featured, I'm assuming, only exclusively in this game mode, which is going to be a knife, a wrench, and a perfume bottle that you'll be able to throw at Johnny to, if I'm not mistaken, stun and reveal him. So I'm actually pretty excited for this mode, as I wouldn't say I'm a Johnny main, but he definitely is my number two when it comes to favorite characters to play from the family side. So I'm looking forward to playing this. However, if you guys were not aware, unfortunately, for some reason, they decided to double back on a whole being able to choose your side, and instead they have a bit of a preference system where basically once you make it into the lobby, you'll be able to opt out of playing Johnny. So this would still increase some of the people's odds who want to play Johnny of playing if enough people are opting out. However, of course, for those of you who do not want to play Johnny, if enough people opt out of him, you're going to be forced to play him regardless. Obviously, the reason for this is simply queues. They're afraid of one, separating the player base between the two modes, and two, they can't seem to fix this backfield issue with the main game. So obviously, they try to avoid that ever being an issue by having everyone funneled into one queue. Thus, even if people are dodging again, it shouldn't be an issue filling those spots. So I'm hoping with enough backlash and perhaps time, they'll stop being so scary about the whole queue thing going on here, and they just simply let you pick your sides, or even better, just fix the backfield issue to begin with and balance the game so people are more willing to play family. But moving on, I think that's just about it for Rush Week. I can't think of anything else to really mention, except for one last thing here. You aren't able to pick your sorority girls. However, you can pick their cosmetics. There are five unique cosmetics simply Jish, exclusively added to this mode, which are going to be the pajamas, cheerleader, and the nighttime outfits. There are also two extra outfits that, if you manage to play the game mode during the time when it's released up to the next patch in October, you'll be able to get the towel outfit and the laundry day outfit. However, if you do not claim these outfits in time, they will be sent over to the shop for $1.99 each. So you definitely want to hop in and play Rush Week while you can. It is noteworthy to say that for those of you who decide to go ahead and get the content pass, you will have a 4 day exclusive access to this mode up until September 30th, which is on a Monday, and then the mode will be added for free for everyone else. So it might be something that'd be tempting to get you the content pass as well. I also want to mention that they are adding an execution pack here. I believe this will be the fourth one that is going to be free to content pass owners. They're also adding, of course, Sissy's Ivy outfit, which I believe is $3.99, as well as Virginia's outfit. Now, if I'm not mistaken, both of these outfits I do not believe are part of the content pass, which is good because I hate to say it, both of these outfits have definitely received some complaints from the player base as the Ivy outfit looks a lot like Sissy's Wildflower outfit, and Virginia's her first ever cosmetic looks a lot similar to her default. Now, this isn't the first time having something like this happen, as just about every one of the victims' first outfits look pretty much the same as the first ones with minor tweaks. So I personally still do like Virginia's outfit. I like the colors they have on them. I think they still make it stand out enough for a purchase of it to be warranted. And with Sissy's outfit, one thing I can't say that I like about it is the fact that she has a bit of a longer, I guess you call it kind of like a V-neck type of collar going on for her oversized wife beater, whatever you want to call that. And seeing as all her other cosmetics have had her with sleeves on, it's nice to finally have her with something sleeveless again. Now, I'm personally hoping that they kind of pull what they did with the cook and change the palette of it. As I don't mind the whole camo part of this outfit, it's just the fact that it's like the same exact color as her wildflower outfit. So maybe if they make it look more of a green instead of the camo type color, that make it stand out a bit more from that outfit. They did again the same thing at Cook's outfit, where originally the outfit images they showed were like kind of a tan outfit like his default, but then they changed it to more of a bluish outfit later on. And again, I think it made it stand out a bit more from his default. Now they also announced that TCM is currently going to be 19.99 for the remainder of his lifespan. So for anyone who hasn't bought the game, or rather knows someone who hasn't bought the game yet, again, being able to get the game for about $20 is not a bad deal, especially since it's been out for about a year now. So definitely isn't worth being a full price anymore. But that aside, we're now going to be moving over to the patch notes. So this patch actually has a decent bit of changes compared to the the last 3 or 4 patches we've been getting. We're still doing the whole 2 week update thing. So first and foremost, we have a change to the fuse box spawn on the mill. They have removed the fuse box from spawning in an overgrown area, which the valve tank can spawn by. So that little small overgrown shed is no longer going to have the fuse box. Instead, it's going to be over to the middle ground floor. That's the same area where Grandpa can sometimes spawn. So that's good for one reason, as besides the fact it stops the family from being able to camp 2 objectives. It also kind of makes a bit more use of that mill area, as I can definitely say that besides again grandpa and victims try to stab him or just passing through, there's really no reason to ever go in there, and it feels like a pretty big area to not have something on. And it's a shame that they didn't move the valve tank from upstairs in the middle, as especially if there's a dead in the game, you want to 100% bring our hands, as if he managed to get a valve tank spawn up there, that's just GG. But my only hope is that this fuse box spawn isn't too close to that gap inside of the middle ground floor, as it make it very easy for them to just kind of cheese that area, and you basically need a second family member to flush them out, or they'd be able to just do the fuse box, and then there's nothing you really do to stop them except just camp there for the rest of the game or whatever. Now, going on to other fixes, they removed Connie's VFX, or sound effects, I should say, from ability, where basically you be able to hear that ability go off map wide. This is good because I could definitely say there's a lot of times where we hear Connie's ability go off and everyone's kind of just panicked and starts checking gates. Now, if you do not discipline yourselves and properly patrol gates, you're not going to get any kind of warning that Connie is broken with her ability. They also did the same thing with Sunny's ability. You now won't hear Sunny activating his ability. However, it's very unimpactful. It's more so something to stop it from annoying you, because let's be honest, even though you know Sunny's activating his ability, there's nothing you can really do to stop her from finding you. So they haven't said anything about Anna and Julie's abilities being global. I personally kind of hope they do keep those sound effects from playing, but just reduce it from, instead of it being global, just kind of a proximity. So if you're around her when she's using it, you hear it. As it's definitely nice to be able to know when Anna's using her ability, so you don't waste your time hitting her, especially if you're not running Serenity, where you can actually do some sort of damage to her when she's in her ability. Now, next up, we have the lockpicking exploit. I am very glad that this has been fixed, because I've heard about it, but I didn't see it in action, and I didn't realize how broken it was until I've played games and seen victims picking the locks in like 6 seconds flat in front of me. I even had the last straw thing happen where I had a Leland stun me, and then during the choose fight stun, he was able to pick the lock open in front of me. Not a fun feeling, and there's stuff like that being able to be done in the game, and this is exactly why I keep saying it. No one wants to play family until they start removing each and every one of those things from happening in the game. I hate to say it, but family's always going to be in a rough place. So next up, we have the Ripstar cooldown on Hans' ability. From what they're describing here, it sounds like either there's an issue where he was getting it back too fast or he was getting it back too slow. All I know is they're saying they're fixing it, so when you have the level 2 cooldown for his Ripstone on, it would be 72 seconds. I feel like it has definitely been shorter than 72 because a minute and 12 seconds sounds like more than enough time for you to be able to go ahead and get something done. So I don't know, maybe time passes by in game faster than it seems, but I still refuse to believe his level 2 has been that long all this time. But moving on, we have an issue where the family members were stunned in interaction lock if they were stunned by a victim bursting out of a hiding spot. Now, this is a very interesting one, as not only has it been forever since I've ever been stunned by a victim out of a hiding spot, but to have two family members stunned out of the hiding spot I was, I hate to say, you probably deserve to be interaction locked if you have that happen. But there's been a lot of interaction locks around hiding spots, and hopefully this will finally get rid of the last of them. So next up, we have a change that I'm actually kind of excited for, and that's tracker tag. Apparently, there's been an issue with tracker tag where it wouldn't highlight victims hit by the family using this perk, and it specifically mentions that mid-match you'd lose functionality of the perk, as in it might have been working at the beginning of the game, then all of a sudden it stops working later on. I can say that this perk just completely didn't work on Sissy at all when I first was leveling up on her, so I'm hoping this retroactively fixes that so the perk actually works on her, as without you being able to mark victims through her poison anymore, it'd be nice to have something to let the other family members know who you're on. So this is a bit of a funny thing that they're listing here. Maria's eye color. I see someone on Twitter mention that her eyes were hazel and they're supposed to be brown. However, I mentioned, I'm sure some others too, mentioned to person that they're supposed to be hazel. If you look at the missing poster, not just in game, but that they put on Instagram or all their social medias really, it described Maria as having hazel eyes, I believe, yellow shirt, blue jeans, and white shoes. That is definitely not how she looks like in game, even after they fixed her hazel eyes thing. So they've confirmed on their social media that later on they're going to be fixing Maria's model to be more accurate to that wanted poster. And I definitely missing poster. I meant. I'm definitely glad they're doing that, as it definitely kind of killed me that she wasn't the accurate color in game there. So next up we have the family melee attack exploit. This one made it so that the family members would be able to deal double damage in a single hit. I'm not sure if this is an exploit. It feels more like this is just a bug or something like that that's been going on, because I had this happen to me at least twice. What's was when I was grappling Johnny and a hitchhiker came out of nowhere and started wailing on me during his long execution. So I just finished the actual animation, and just before I was able to barge Hitchhiker, it's like he hit me twice. Not so much double dare, just like it somehow made him register his last hit twice, and that was just enough for him to kill me before I could barge him and get away. And mind you, that Hitchhiker hit like a freaking wet noodle. It took him like 10 hits to kill me, but that's a good old Johnny. It's a close encounter animation. Even when you win, you lose. So the other instance here, Johnny was just hitting like a Mack truck. I had like 50% of my health. And just as he hit me the first time, he just immediately just one shot at me. Well, not even one shot, but killed me in a big burst of damage before I could activate my ability. It definitely pissed me off there. I lowered the volume of the clip here, but believe me, I was screaming when he did that much damage to me. And generally, even if I'm not running max toughness on, I have it at least in the 40s, so sure, high savage family members hit pretty hard, but I don't feel like Jada should have hit me that hard there. That's all I'm going to say there. So the rest of these changes they have in the patch notes is just them changing a bunch, well, rather fixing a bunch of issues with private matches. I personally want them to fix a lot of issues that were brought in with the anniversary event in the live game. As it definitely is a little annoying that the private games function differently from the public game, but it's just again, I don't understand why the private games have so many bugs that aren't visible in the public game, and then the vice versa. It's something they definitely need to shore up. But the patch notes here are going to be rounded out by them fixing a few stuck spot issues and some other things such as the invert functionality not working in museum mode. So I'm not going to go crazy and mention all that. I'll be leaving the patch notes in the description if you guys would go check it out for yourself. But that is going to be it for the patch notes itself. I'm going to end this video off by mentioning that although they did not fix the issues with grappling, they have confirmed that they are looking into fixing grappling hopefully by October, as well as they're just overall changing the system itself. So hopefully, in doing so, they make it fair for victims at higher health to be able to win grapple, especially if they're expected to strength. At the same time, making it so victims can't abuse grapples the entire time and do the good old grapple mania meme and just make themselves basically invincible as long as they have a bone scrap around them. Now, one thing I definitely remember hearing months ago is people were saying that there's like some sort of diminishing values from grapples, where basically the more you grapple a family, the higher chance the family has at winning. As a complete lie. You can grapple the family until the cows come home, and they'll never win, especially if you're at high shrimp or health, or both. So, again, it'd be great if they added something like that to the game. I think that'd be good. As realistic, let's be honest here. First time you beat Johnny, probably because he's cocky about it. I mean, just look at his posture when he grapples. He looks like he's not taking it serious. He's just playing around with you. To 5'6", 120-pound Connie wins against the 6 foot, 200-pound man. After that, of course, you'd think he'd kind of be a little upset about getting his bells wrong, or he'd take it serious. But again, that's just not the way it works currently, and hopefully it will soon. So this is a bit of a long video, mainly because there's a lot of this news I didn't post earlier. I wanted to save it for the patch notes itself, so I could just have it all consolidated in one spot. But that is going to be it for this video. I thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, if you haven't already, get in life.